So it must be nice out there in today, huh?
It's beautiful.
Mm,
It's beautiful in Kenya.
mm,
I'm so inspired by being on the continent.
mm,
The people are kind and wonderful and considerate. And
mm,
this is the rainy season in Kenya. It's not a
mm,
cold rain, but it's a beautiful rain.
mm,
And you can see the crops being rained on, and the grass is growing. So it's really a beautiful time of the year. One of my favorite times of the
mm,
year is the
mm.
rainy season.
Yeah, it's April, obviously. So,
Yes,
I,
April, March, April, May is the rainy season. They have two rainy seasons in
mm,
Kenya. The
mm,
first season is November, December, and January. That's a cold rain.
mm,
And this
that,
one's more of a spring rain.
mm, nice,
But it's
nice.
lovely. It's lovely. I'm so happy being in the motherland
Mm,
as she embraces me.
mm. Yeah, nature, You-
Yes.
nature is not deceptive. It's not a manufactured environment, you know?
No.
There's still some authenticity to the environment, which
And it was
the
created just for us. It was created just for us, for his
mhm,
children.
yes,
So nature has everything. It has our food, it has our medicine, it has everything.
hmm, yes, yes, true indeed, true indeed. We sometimes take it for granted, as Baba
Yeah,
Mo
we
was.
take it for granted and we
Yeah,
don't try to learn about the environment. And
hmm,
that's one of the biggest problems I think that we have as a people in general.
hmm,
We don't learn about our environment.
yes, yes. Well, I mean, we're gonna learn. As they would say, the awakening is here. So we would eventually there has to be a reconditioning of who we are as a people. We have to
Yes, re-education.
re-education. Yeah. Anyway, welcome, 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 family. As you can see, there was no background music, there was no introduction. What you got was the great message. Um, you got this. Okay, you got this. That was one of your quotes, Mama Bantu. That was one of your quotes. This is your brother Silverback, and this is Mind Theorist, a new Narrowcast on Muntu Bantu. And this is Mother Bantu. Mother Bantu, introduce yourself.
I am Mother Bantu.
Mm,
Um, I am a grandmother, a mother of three boys. Um, I'm from Philadelphia, raised in Philadelphia, moved to California in 1969 and stayed in California for 52 years. And I
mm,
decided after I retired, I wanted to move to Africa. So in 2020, I packed up everything and I came to Kenya.
mm,
And it's been an adventure. It's been the best part and best time of my life to
mm,
be back to the land of my ancestors. And I feel honored just walking the streets of
mm,
Kenya and meeting and greeting the people and talking with the people and laughing with the people. It's just like I returned home and that I was missing something that I did not know what it
mm.
was.
Yes.
So just being back to the motherland, it's a peaceful experience. I always tell my children when you come back to Africa and you breathe the air, your mindset will change.
Mm.
So I am enjoying myself. This is my second year. March the 8th was year number 2. And I've decided that I will never return to America. I will stay here through the duration of the rest of my life.
Never, never.
Never. Do you want me to sign a contract? I always tell the Kenyan children, I will sign a contract. I will never return to America.
They laugh. They laugh, right?
They laugh. They laugh. Mom, we want to go to America. Well, America's here. Me.
Mama. The funny thing is, every time we have a discussion, we always laugh, and I know that we're not gonna be so professional in these recordings. I find it very natural because our topics sometimes it gets so deep, and I wonder if we're gonna be professional. you know. So family, we thank you for gathering with us. Um, Mama Bantu, I know you don't know this, but the moment I saw you on, we have a group. Actually, I'm like personally talking to you personally, but um, the viewers, I'm talking to the viewers. Viewers, when I first met Mama Bantu, it was digitally. Okay, we were on a Zoom. We go to a class, a spiritual class that we are a part of. And the first time that I heard your voice, and I can see your personality came through the the um, the class. Okay, so I was automatically like another sister, Sister Paulette. It's like some people they just have whether they're vocal or whether they are quiet. And there's times where I can feel the person, literally feel them, and feel a connection. So
Yes,
I had
I
that
understand.
immediate connection with you. Just you came through that the class. And I immediately knew that I've got to find a way to connect with that woman, and so we're here. Okay,
We're here.
we're here.
And we've
Um,
had great conversations, great laughter. We
uh,
just enjoy ourselves. And I always say that
mm,
there are certain people that are ordained to come into your life. That's why you have a spiritual connection with certain people.
mm,
And we are sent to one another. So I was sent to you and you were sent to me for greater
mm,
things.
mm,
And like I always tell my sons, people come into your life for reasons. They come into your life to give you wisdom. They
mm,
come into your life for a short period of time, or they come into your life for long term.
mm,
So I'm always open to receive my children
mm,
because I have things to teach you and you have things to teach me. So
mm.
everyone's voice is valid.
Yes.
So I'm honored to have a great son like you because I listen to you
Mm,
and I understand your spirit. I
mm,
understand the things that you say, how you think. So
mm,
I enjoy your company a lot,
mm.
and you make me laugh.
Thank you. Same here. Same here. Same here. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I received that. I received it. So family, today's topic is pretty much it's Mama Bantu versus Silverback. And this particular narrowcast, which is called Mind Theorist. Okay? Mind Theorist. You're going to get the gist of the show as we go along, but we're going to have debates. Okay? We picked a topic. In this particular topic, it's a video of a brother. Some of you know of him. He's the brother's name is he's called Go Black to Africa. Okay, so he had a piece, and the title was that it's pretty much we lost our kids. how do we save our kids? All right. Um, Now, in that particular video, there were disturbing things that he showed, and they disturbed me. We've got to a point where there used to be a time where they didn't show certain things on TV. You know, when if it was very violent, they would give you a disclaimer. This is violent. You know, protect your
Yes.
kids.
Yes.
Don't let your kids
Yes.
see this. You know, but today it seems as if they only show a particular people doing just
The most hideous
the
things.
most hideous things. Yes, it's like, and that's our people. They seem to what's the term? They they like to show us in negative light. You know, and these kids are young. Okay, they used to not show people after what if they were 17 and under, right? 17 and under.
Yes.
And
Yes.
in this particular video, they were shooting each other. It was like a game, you know.
Mm.
So they condition the kids. They go out of their way to provide these video games that are close to real,
Violence.
very violent, you know, and they put it in a way that it's it seems it's entertaining, right? And initially they put it out
Yes.
there, the kids love it, they play those games, and it just seems like it's ramping up. You know, the more the games get sophisticated, the more the kids lose track of what's reality and what is not. You know?
Yes. And I believe that these games in our society, it taps into their subconscious. And when it
Mm,
taps into their subconscious, they dumb down.
mm,
I've had friends that would allow their children to play those violent videos for hours,
mm,
so bad that what does it does? It makes you numb. It makes
mm-hmm,
you numb to death. It makes you numb to murder. It makes you
mm-hmm,
numb to mistreating one another. You know,
mm-hmm,
I feel that it all started with shows like Jerry Springer
mm,
and Maury Povich and the violence that was in those shows. And as
mm,
the parents sat and watched those shows, our children were little fellas and little girls
mm,
watching our parents look at the violence of these shows.
mm,
Hence, the video game world came, and
mm,
they would show the children would use the video games as cutting off someone's head and stabbing them and killing them, and hours of being
mm,
desensitized to violence. So they're
mm,
raised and being desensitized to violence. So when
mm,
they do this, it's like a video game in their head. They have no feeling for the human experience at
mm,
all,
mm,
because in their mind, it's just a game.
mm. Yeah, it's slippery slope, right? Um,
Yes, a very slippery slope.
it's again, teenagers are still developing. You know, their minds are still developing.
Mentally, yes.
You know, so
Yes.
um, now they will use these psychology terms when it's their kids, but when it's our kids, oh no, they're grown adults. You know,
Yes.
so they give these in they provide an environment that are quote unquote safe, okay,
Mm.
they seem as if they're safe. You know, they say, okay, when you after you're 18 years old, you're allowed. When you're 21, you're allowed to drink. Okay,
Mm.
they give these things. Okay, you when you're 21, you can vote. Or you know, when you're 16, you can drive. Okay, and now it's gone far and beyond. where now they have teachers
Yes.
coming to your children's class and they're teaching them about their body parts. They're
Yes.
teaching them about, and they're telling them it's okay, but then they'll pull away in certain areas. So I mean, if they're gonna change these, if they're gonna change these social cultural norms, right? If they're gonna change it, shouldn't they be changing laws as well?
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
If you're gonna make these drastic changes so quickly, right, and not look at the consequences, you should also be lenient when they act up, when they're not. I mean, for me, it is beyond crazy, Mama. It's gone to
It's beyond crazy.
it's beyond
Because
crazy.
here's the thing, a child develops at different stages. They develop, their emotions, they develop their love, they develop their hate, they develop at different stages in their life. That's why the Bible says train up a child in the way that he should go. We're not training up our children. Society's training our children in the way they should go. So by the time these children are 17, 18 years old, they have been trained to be desensitized to sex. They see it on TV, to violence. They see it on TV, to profanity. They see it on TV. So they have been trained by society, not the mother and the father, not the uncle and the aunt. They're trained by society. Today, if you go into my son's house, everyone is on the video game. The 4-year-old, the 11-year-old, my son on his video game, his wife, she's on the internet talking to her friends. So there's the disconnection. Who's training our children? Who? Technology is training our children. A fallen society is training our children. Crooked policemen, crooked politicians is training our children. So when our children get to a stage and they are trained by society, now society wants to attack them.
Yeah, I would say more like the government is attacking them. It's attacking them.
That's society. That's society. Who is society? We are led by a crooked government. Yeah. They train up our children. They give our children, I say, fool's gold. My children couldn't play on Nintendo all day long. I wanted essays. I wanted book reading. I wanted conversation. But now, no one has a conversation. No one talks. No one says, the question is when a child gets out of school, how was your day at school? That's the end of that conversation. Oh, it's fine. That's it. No sit-down conversations, no talking to our children. What are you feeling today? How are you doing today? What's changing in your... No questions to help develop that child. You take the children to church, you put them in the children's church. So again, someone else is training our children. So society has trained our children. The government has trained our children. And I believe the reason why they focus on the Black community is the government still thinks the Black man, the Black woman, and the Black child is their enemy.
More like their product.
It's their product, but they think that the government thinks that the Black man, the Black woman, the Black child is the enemy of society when it's the opposite. So now our children are trained to be violent. They are frustrated with society. They're frustrated with no one listening to their concerns. So now what do we have now? We have a generation out of control because that's what they were taught. That's how they were trained.
Out of order. Out of order.
They're out of order. Yeah. The government's out of order. So corruption starts from the top and it trickles down. And it trickles down to our children.
Well, there's no morality anymore if you think about it. I mean, there is,
None.
yeah, there would actually, for me, the way I perceive it, there hasn't, actually, there was never order uh, um, in this country. Um,
Never.
there was never a moral,
It's always been disjointed.
yeah. So let's I don't think today this is our first one, family. So I don't think we are actually in disagreement. Okay. So let me see if we are in agreement. All right. So do you think that we should take our children out of their schools or out of public schools altogether?
Well, here's the thing.
Mm,
You take your children out of public schools, and I have uh, several friends during the years that homeschool their children. But guess
mm,
what? Who's in charge of the curriculum
mm,
of what you're teaching your children? The
mm-hmm.
government.
Yes. Sponsored. Mm-hmm.
It's sponsored. You cannot homeschool your child unless you pay for a curriculum or have a curriculum that's given by the government.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing. Our children cannot be sheltered from the world in the house all day learning. They need to interact. They need to be with their peers. They need to
Mm-hmm.
so homeschooling is a double sword for me because I
Mm-hmm.
know that I know parents that homeschool their children and their children are socially inept. They don't know how to conversate with people. They don't know how to be around people. They know how to do is be around mom, sisters and brothers, and the home school.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't believe in homeschooling because homeschooling is controlled by the government.
Or even homeschooling. Even homeschooling.
Even
You,
homeschooling is controlled by the government. You have to teach
mm,
them a certain way and a certain curriculum.
okay. So what about the things that they are doing in their schools then? Like these idea of that the child has the right to decide what gender he or she is. Oh, excuse me. He, she, it,
Oh,
binary.
yes. don't get me don't get me started on that one. I was having a problem back in the day when people
Mm,
were trying to convince me
mhm,
that we were born like this. The government had a big campaign.
mhm,
You were born like this, and this is just the way it is.
mhm,
So, okay. So if I was born like this,
mhm,
why are you pushing your agenda on my
mhm,
children?
mhm. Yeah, if they were exactly. Well, the thing about it, Mama, is also you have to understand that in the 70s they did research, okay, and after the research on homosexuality, they said it was actually a disorder, all right, and then at some point they changed it again, and they're starting to. It became political, but it's being used for politics now. It's a
Of
political
course.
tool,
Of course.
right?
And I don't believe in research. Who's researching? Who's researching? They'll come out with a word like scientists said,
Uh-huh.
research have shown us. Give me the paperwork of the research and let me research the researchers.
Yeah, but well, this is their research. This is their researchers, right?
The disclaimer is
mm,
that we research. I don't
mm,
believe that you research. You're trying to push an agenda. So at the top of the paper, you say, this is our research.
mm,
Scientists say. So everyone stands still when anyone says, well, scientists says.
mm. Well, I mean,
Research has shown us.
uh, yes.
Well, here's the thing. You pushing these agendas on the child. Let's get back to the Bible. What the Bible says is foolishness bound up in the
Mm,
heart of a child.
mm,
So a child does not have mentally, they can't make certain decisions for themselves because they're a
Mm.
child.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a child, I act like a child.
Mm-hmm.
So they're giving the responsibility today for a child to decide his future or her future
Mm-hmm.
when they haven't developed out of childhood yet.
Yes. Yes. True indeed.
Because
True.
the homosexual agenda, I believe with all of my heart, the homosexual agenda is against the divine family structure.
Mm-hmm.
It's attack on family.
Mm-hmm.
Father, mother, children. That's the attack. Father, father, mother, mother.
Yeah. And then they're using the
It's out
black.
of divine order.
Yeah. They're using the black family to as a scapegoat, as the
Absolutely.
face of
Absolutely.
homosexuality.
Absolutely.
The,
Absolutely.
you know,
And why are they using the black children, the black man, black woman? Answer that question.
well, I mean, it's like the letter that I read a few weeks ago, the Willie Lynch letter. You know, it's to
Yes.
decimate, disrupt. Once they can disrupt it, then they're going to utilize eugenics. Okay,
Yes.
and it is the whole goal is to stop um, uh, the population of the African population worldwide. Okay, and
Absolutely.
this obviously they're starting here in the States, but as you can see for yourself, they sent their agents. They they use the black
To
woman.
Africa.
Yes, this alleged black woman, which is conveniently black whenever she wants to be black, and then
Yes.
then they send her there to try to convince our leaders. I've got to say, I thought that our leaders didn't have their own minds, but I think,
They stood
e-
up against it.
yeah, even I was impressed. I've got to say, I was impressed. But then again, that's Baba Mungu at work. Okay.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing. In America, you're not allowed to
Mm.
stand up for your right.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you stand up for your right, you're homophilic.
Mm-hmm.
If you stand up for your right, and I used to have this debate at my job
Mm.
about, so I don't believe in homosexual, but you forcing me to
Mm-hmm.
believe into homosexuality. And if I don't believe the way you believe,
Yeah.
then I'm the bad guy.
Yeah.
So you've taken my right to believe what I want to believe, and no one stands up for righteousness. And I was so proud of the African leaders standing up for righteousness. He said, these are our morals.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
These are
Yeah.
our morals. You can't come from another country telling us how to act on our morals.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I was proud of that because there's no morals in America. If you stand up for righteousness, then you're the outcast.
Yeah.
No one wants to say the word abomination. The Bible says homosexual man laying with a man, woman laying with a woman is an abomination to
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. According
To
according to the
him.
Bible. According to the Bible.
To him. So you can believe what you want to believe, but are you offending him, the one that has to give you your next breath?
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right. I think the enemies of Baba Mungu are very, very aware that the time is up. You know,
I do believe it.
they know time is up. They know time is up, and it actually infuriates them to know that most of our people are awake. Okay, so a parasite likes to operate in in what in an environment where the host is not aware that they're there. Okay, They are
Absolutely.
by nature, by definition, they are an entity that sucks, takes away from the host. It lives off the host. The moment the host is aware that the parasite is there, it's no longer a parasite. Okay? It's only a parasite when it's invisible, out of place. Okay?
Powerful.
Okay, so these the things that they are doing is they would like for you to be unaware of what they're doing to our children, to us, right? For them to be able to come. Think about it, mama. And I'm gonna go and I'm gonna list all the things to see if we are in agreement or not. Okay, but in their society, they have to be the, how do you say, the referee or the ones who, the authority who initiate any kind of contact that you and I coming. If a man and a woman get together, they have to be the referee or the governing body of that particular relationship, and that is in everything you do. Okay, so
Everything you do.
they want to legislate your communication with another person. They want to make sure that you are communicating the way they want you to communicate with our brothers and sisters, right? So we don't have agency. They want us to be, they're showing us. They want us to be robots. So they're gonna put robots. This eugenics thing is real. They don't want you to have your own mind. Okay, they're gonna
Or your own thoughts.
or your own thought.
Because with your own mind and your own thoughts, you're able to rebut what they're saying, what they're doing.
Yes,
there's a rebuttal coming.
Yes.
They don't want you to have a mind. They just want you to be soft spoken and quiet.
Yes. Yeah, they don't want to have, they don't want you to have if they don't want you to have your own mind, they don't want you to, they want, so eventually they want to take control over your body.
Yes.
Right? So
Yes.
so they, in so many ways they're telling us, okay, we're going to automate the businesses. Okay, jobs. The jobs are going to be automated. So what use are we going to have as human beings? We were given the ability to dominion over our environment, over nature. So if they take away jobs from us, okay, because day to day you do things that are productive, creative. So if they take away jobs and they want to control the music, they want to control your daily activities. I mean, what's the point of being human?
It's sad. It's really sad, but you hit the nail on the head because, like Bill Gates says, and he's one of the biggest parasites, we must control the people.
Yeah.
We must exterminate a lot of people. So you can exterminate people in many ways. Mentally is one of the biggest ways you can exterminate people, where they're not thinking anymore. Whatever you do is okay. Whatever you say, whatever laws on the books is okay. So they're coming after our mind and our spirit before the genocide, the big genocide, and that's what Bill Gates wants. He wants the big genocide. He thinks he's going to win, and he thinks he's going to have this utopia society controlled by the Kani and Pemba. That's what they think. But when it all boils down to it, Baba Mongol is still in charge.
Yeah.
And he's only going to let this go but so far.
Yeah, I mean, wickedness is truly the true definition of foolishness. I mean, wickedness has no vision. There's absolutely no, I mean, they don't accept. They don't perceive that there's going to be a pushback. You know, I mean, you can plan and you
Absolutely.
can build this and build that machine, do that and do this, but are they factoring in when the people really decide to give them pushback?
Yeah, like the Terminator, the machines turned against the creators.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, they don't foresee pushback, or do they?
And you know the reason why they don't perceive pushback is because they think they have the highest minds.
Mm,
They think they have the best ideas,
mm,
but they don't see that their ideas and their plans are flawed from the beginning.
mm-hmm,
It looks good on paper, I always say. It looks
mm-hmm,
good on paper, but how is it going to react in real life?
mm-hmm,
Because as he wakens up his chosen people,
mm-hmm,
we're not going to stand for it because our voices will be loud and clear.
mm-hmm,
Because when as he wakes us up with a fight in us to take back what belongs to us.
mm-hmm,
And that's what they're not banking on. That
mm,
we're just going to lay down and roll over so you can come and take over Africa, so you can get all of the minerals and diamonds and gold and everything that Africa has. That's the
mm,
bottom line, and that's what the Kandi and Pimba want. They want the motherland.
mm. So okay, so he says schools. It's okay to have the public schools then, even though they're the things that they're doing.
So here's the thing with the public schools. Why
Mm,
can't we have our own schools
mm, okay,
with our
okay.
own curriculum, teaching our own history,
Mm-hmm,
teaching our spirituality?
mm-hmm.
We'll never get it in a public school, and we'll never get it at home.
Right. So through their schooling, they are pretty much teaching the ideologies, the things as such, the things that they're doing right now. So if we go to the public schools, we have to conform to
You have to conform.
to the programs that they have in place. But you say that if they regulate also homeschooling, I think it depends on the state, because some states you actually can choose what you want to teach your kids, you know. But not all school systems, we have to abide by their the programs that they have in place. So,
Right. And we're talking about the Bantu child right now. We're not talking about society. We're
oh
talking about
yeah,
the Bantu child
yeah,
and how
that
they have to be schooled.
yes, definitely, definitely. We're talking about definitely this narrowcast again. It's a narrowcast because we're narrowing it. We're narrowing in on topics that relates to us, the Muntu. You know.
Yes. Yes.
So now, as far as after they finish their public school, when they go into college, do you think that the the grown ups now, when after elementary and high school, do you think that our kids should still go to their colleges?
Well, there's no alternative right now. There's
Mm,
no alternative. What the colleges train you to do is to be a slave to society.
mm,
Now
mm,
you're a slave to society for 8, 9 hours.
mm,
I was there.
mm,
So you do what they say when they say it. They don't teach you in school. They don't teach you how to be the owner of a business. They don't teach you how to budget your money. They don't teach you how to balance your checkbook. They don't teach you anything about life so you can survive in life. They teach you in the universities how to be a good employee. That's what they teach you.
right.
So everyone is fighting for these jobs that I'm the best employee. So you go to your cubicle and you sit there for 8 hours and you get your pay and you're waiting for your pension, but you don't know how to budget. You don't know how to balance your checkbooks. You don't know anything that's necessary to survive in life.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to take back the education of our children to teach our children, first, their spirituality and who they are.
Right.
Two, who their ancestors were, great ancestors. I have pictures of the ancestors in my home in Kenya. When I have my Kenyan children here, I ask them, who is this?
Mm-hmm.
They don't know. Is that your father? Is that your grandfather? No, that's Simon Toko.
Mm-hmm.
That's Simon Kumbango.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who this lady is? No, we don't know her. That's Kimbavita. And then I tell them the stories because the colonizers have taught them not to know who they are and not to know the power of their spirituality. And this is what we as adults and grandparents have to teach our children who they are. Who's the Bantu? Yeah. We're not a colonized kid sitting in a cubicle in white society being dummied down and shot on the streets because we're not being trained who we are.
Right. Yes, Mama. Now, okay, so as you can see for yourself that it seems as I'm gonna keep going down the list. I have a list here of the things that we should agree or don't agree. This is our first Narrowcast, family. Wow. And we're just.
I'm gonna make some tea. So you keep talking. One thing about the phone and the microwave, they get married.
Yeah. Yeah. So okay, because the funny thing about the college, it seems like there is no continuancy, right? Continuity as far as the things that you're learning in elementary school, high school, and then college, right? They teach you whatever they want to teach you in the elementary school, and then when you in elementary school, and then when you get to college, then you have electives. Then you decide on what you want to do. Whereas it should have been what you wanted to do all along from beginning.
Absolutely.
Right? From the beginning.
Absolutely.
So the illusion here is that, okay, we're giving you the freedom to select what you want to do societal wise.
Well, we only give you a few choices.
Yeah, but there's no content. It's like you don't become an expert by the time you get into college, right?
Yes.
Because the illusion is, okay, now we give you all they have done to you is condition you to accept what it means to get to school on time, okay, and conform to whatever program that they have placed before you, okay. So when you look at the school structure, it doesn't really. There's no, other countries they train you whatever you deciding whatever you're doing in your elementary school, it gets reinforced when you get to college. You see what I'm saying? So there's,
yes, absolutely, absolutely.
It gets tricky. So there's no continuance when it comes down to the education. So they change the program as soon as you get to college, Whereas they want to trap you with financially. They really want you to be enslaved by the time you get to college. All right. They really, really
Yes,
want you to get enslaved. It's like they prepare you for the next phase, and that will be going to their factories, and that will be a job. Okay.
enslaved.
Enslaved, yes. The plantation, I would
So
say.
you spend 30 or 40 years there,
Mm-hmm.
and you come to an age where they say, okay, now you can retire. Now you can sit down and hopefully you save some money. You can have a good time. But
Yeah.
they don't teach you, they only teach you how to be a corporate slave. You know
Mm-hmm.
how many degreed children are in the United States who don't have jobs or doing jobs
Mm-hmm.
out of what they went to college for?
Mm-hmm.
Thousands.
Yeah. So
Why?
yeah, is qualification on top of qualification. You know, so 1 minute they tell you, okay, you need a degree to qualify for this particular job. And then when you get there, they say, okay, yeah, you need experience for this particular job. So which one is it?
Yes.
You know? Then they tell you, oh, yeah, it's who you know. Okay, so we've got to try to qualify for all these stumbling blocks that you put before us. You know, so it's like, it's maddening. It's crazy, right? But again, the trick is to they don't teach you what you learn in preschool is not what you're learning in elementary school. What you learn in elementary school
Right.
is not what you're gonna learn in high school. What you're learning in high school is not
There's
what
no
you're gonna learn.
consistency.
There is no consistency. It's tricks on top of tricks, confusion on top of confusion, right? But if you go to other systems, they have it all mapped out where you go, whatever you learn from from grade school for early on is going to be reinforced when you go to the different stages. In America, they don't do
Yes.
that. They don't reinforce.
They don't do it on
Okay,
purpose.
it's on purpose. It's on purpose.
My sons have masters, bachelor's, masters, and they're not working in what they went to college for, and they
Yeah.
still owe 50, 60, 70, $80,000 in student loans.
Yes. Yes. And then you have and then we have to say, okay, if generation after generation of these mistakes, we have to take responsibility as well.
Thank you.
You
There
know,
you go.
as parents, we've got to take
That's the bottom
responsibility,
line.
right? Because we just can't go along. You know, we saw it. We've always known that most of our people have degrees, but they're not getting the quote unquote job. So
That's right.
whatever system they had put in place, it was not designed, and we know this. It was not designed for us to thrive. It was designed
right.
for us to be kept in limbo. Okay.
It kept in line.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be in line. If they get out of control, they get out of line, then we can't control them. It's all about control.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You know, I was one of those parents who was up at the school questioning everything, questioning the curriculum, questioning my child's behavior, but also questioning the teacher's behavior.
Right.
The teacher's behavior towards my child.
Of
Didn't let
course.
him get away with, you know, sitting my child, which was probably the three of black children in that class, sending him out to the principal's office to sit in the principal's office. I didn't go for that nonsense
Mm-hmm.
because I told my children, you see, you're in this school and it's predominantly white
Mm-hmm.
because of the neighborhood we live in, but they expect you to come back as the janitor. They could care less if you learn history,
Mm-hmm.
math, calculus, algebra, because they're banking on you to come back and mop the floors.
Mm-hmm.
So I would make sure that I would talk to the highest of the education.
Mm-hmm.
I would go to the board of education with my complaints.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something, when a parent goes to the Board of Education with a complaint, the Board of Education shakes in their boots. Because
Mm-hmm.
here's a mother that's not sitting home watching soap operas
Mm-hmm.
all day long
Mm-hmm.
and not paying attention to the education of her child,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Yes.
very important. So we, as the Bantu, we are responsible now that we are in the awakening. We're not in awakening just to be awoke. We in the awakening to make changes, to make
Mm-hmm.
changes on things that we see that needs to change. And that's the education of the Bantu child.
Right.
We have to take the education out of the hands of our enemies, the colonizers,
Mm-hmm.
and take back the education and educate our own children and grandchildren.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Or else we're going to go to the next generation with the same thing.
Yes.
Children with masters and bachelors working at Walmart.
Yeah. You know, a lot of our people, a lot of our women hold these degrees that they want us to qualify for. So what's the disconnect between the kids, this generation? You know, I see that there's a positive side to that. That these kids, this generation, they're not accepting the things that I accepted or the other previous
Absolutely.
generations, right?
Absolutely.
Even though they're
They're
doing
rocking
it,
the boat.
yeah, even though they're doing it, a lot of them are doing it wrong. But the attitude is we are not going to accept. You know, it's a weird it's a weird situation because on one
It's a
hand,
weird dichotomy.
yes, and it's like on one hand they are aggressive with the pink man, right? They're not afraid. You know, obviously they are not afraid of dying. I mean, if you saw the video that we saw, Mama Bantu, like when I looked at that
They're
video, it's
not
like
afraid.
they
The fear has been taken away from them.
mm,
The fear has been taken away from them because they feel that, look, I have a miserable life anyway. So if you kill me, you just kill me. There
mm,
ends my misery. That's the mentality of them. But
mm,
they are speaking up. And I tell the young, because I'm on the streets of Kenya a lot, talking to the young
mm,
Kenyans, men and women. But I always tell them, it's your generation that has to take it back.
mm,
It's your generation that has to stand up and rebel.
mm,
Because the revolution comes through the young people. Because the older people had their chance. We were
mm,
passive. We were quiet. We let the we said yes, a boss, and whatever you say, sir, and not this generation.
mm,
And I always tell my sons, you are the generation. You are the Davids in this generation. You're going to make a difference in this generation.
mm.
And there's no longer time to be quiet. Now, whether they're doing it correctly or not correctly, they're being
Mm.
seen and heard.
Oh yeah, they're definitely
So
being
there's
heard.
many more that's going to rise up and say,
Mm.
no more.
Yeah.
We're tired.
Well, well, folks, we are not in disagreement here. I don't think we have a debate today, but I think we're gonna have to find a topic that we both can be on. Now, it's not a it's not a point of being in a disagreement. Is it's more of different perspectives. All right, just to give it more of a contrast. If she's coming in from one angle, I should be able to come from a different angle, which would allow us to have more of a rich conversation, you know, a rich
Yes.
perspective, you
And
know.
that's where we get other people in that can rock the boat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Definitely.
Shake it up a little bit.
Yes, yes. So okay, now as you can see, folks, as you can see, Mama, that obviously there is no continuance when it comes to the school system, going from elementary school, college. Now, even the job, you see they promise you one thing, okay? The promise is if you get your credentials, you should be able to get a job, right? But it seems to work for their kids. Once they graduate, they get the high paying jobs.
Because it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Mm,
Same in Africa. It's not what you know, it's who you know. That's how you get the jobs with
right.
the cable company, with the light
Mm.
company, with this company. You have to know someone to get in the door.
Well, then that perception has to change now,
It has to
right?
change.
So do
It's in
you
our it's
go ahead, Mama?
Baba Mungo has put it in our court. What are you going to do about it, my children?
Mm,
Talk is cheap.
mm-hmm,
You can say, you love me all day long. I love you so much. Oh, I
mm,
adore you, but I'm watching your action. Love is an action word.
mm-hmm. That's right.
So we love our children and we say we want to see our children change and
Mm-hmm,
grow up, then we need to re educate our children and
mm-hmm,
not depend on the government or the colonizers to re educate our children. They won't do it.
mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, do you think that we can, again, as we said earlier, the schooling, the curriculums are a sponsored programs, a sponsored education, because we're not getting the identity of the children of the education that they are learning is not coming from a mind of a Muntu. It's coming from a mind of a European, the same people who actually oppressed our ancestors. So how could we be comfortable as a people, allowing these strangers to teach our kids just in the hopes of getting a job?
That's it. That's the bottom line. Because
Mm.
they made us focus only on money,
Mm-hmm.
only on monetary means,
Mm-hmm.
not your development, not who
Mm-hmm.
you are,
Mm-hmm.
um, um, just on the dollar. So our children concentrate on the dollar like they were trained,
Mm-hmm.
but the dollar is not for them.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a hard time getting a dollar, getting a
Mm-hmm.
job, getting
Mm-hmm.
the position, getting the promotion, because the system was not built for them. So
Mm-hmm.
now they're frustrated and they're in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not in the streets like their grandfather, Martin Luther King,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
because he would be their great grandfather
Mm-hmm.
now.
Yeah.
But they're they're in the streets with Uzis and
Mm-hmm.
guns.
Which is this is like absurd. And I mean, family, I'm gonna leave a link to that video. Okay, go check it out just to get a little bit more and just to get context of what we're talking about. Because after I mean, as a parent, I'm like, and you know what it is, Mama. They are legislating wickedness. Okay,
Yes,
they're legislating wickedness just so that we don't have just so our bodies don't desire to reproduce. You know, they're gonna create an environment where our bodies will shut down. You're gonna desire to want to have kids, but the environment will be not is not going to be conducive.
it's not conducive. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what they want. They want to create an environment where you're not going to see for them. They know it's all about genetics. It's all about numbers. It's about population. And if we get more of our people into this world, we're going to alter the consciousness of these people in this dimension. Okay?
Absolutely.
And this is why they are very, very heavy in America to control how we gather, how we build community, how we build our groups, our education. It's like they know that if we have our way, we would just naturally eliminate them from our presence. Naturally. Okay? So everything they do.
That's the fear of every parasite.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That the host that they are on is going to wake up and smack them off. That's the biggest fear of the white man.
Yes.
Because the white man thinks, the parasites think, that they have done so many atrocities to the black man, woman, and child. They think that we're going to rise up and take revenge on them. That's the fear in their hearts. So as long as they can oppress us and keep us down and control us, they feel safe.
But that ain't going to work.
But it's not going to work. It's time. This is 2023, the year 7, the year of perfection. And Baba Mungu he's taking the scales off the eyes of his children. And he's pushing back. We are pushing back against the enemy and his tactic.
Yes.
And we have to teach our children how to push back without getting killed.
Yes. Yes. So we're going to go a step further, one step further. So after these jobs, usually when you get into your 20s, there's a situation now that's in place now in America, I would say. Okay. Once the male, they're keeping the men out of the jobs, obviously, but they're allowing the women to thrive, okay, economically. So then there's going to be with that act alone, there's going to be a disconnect between the black man and the black woman. Okay, while they're having a woman thrive. Now, the women are completely sold into the system of white supremacy to a point where they no longer see the value. Am I wrong? They don't even see the value of marriages, of black marriages, black relationships. Am I wrong, Mama?
You're absolutely correctly. You're absolutely correct.
I was hoping to be wrong.
Why? Why? Why?
Because I want to see there's a different, because
that's how they were trained.
Yeah. That's the program.
You remember when Barbara Walter did this test with the black kids and the white kids and asked them what doll was pretty and what doll was ugly?
Of course.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
What doll is better? What doll is nice and which doll is bad? They could been conditioned to think that the Connie and Pimba way is the best way.
Yeah.
I remember the first time someone called me a nigger. It broke my heart. I was like, what? Why would you say that to me?
Mama, you're right. I mean, even if you don't understand the definition of what a nigger is, even if you don't really grasp the racial slur that's coming out of their mouth, even though you don't know it, but you know subconsciously that it's not right what they're saying
it's
to
bad.
You. Yeah.
So the young black children most of the time, I'm not saying all the time,
Mm-hmm.
they spend the rest of their life trying to get the white people to approve them.
Yeah.
I don't know how many jobs that I had that I was the only Black person in the office.
Mm.
The token.
Mm-hmm.
You made it.
You may.
They like you now.
Mm-hmm.
Don't wear that kinky hair.
Mm-hmm.
Put a weave on. We like your hair when it falls down your back.
Mm-hmm.
We are trained to hate ourselves and love them.
Yes.
That's why they can manipulate the Black women
Mm-hmm.
to think this way is better than that way.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, like I said from the beginning, it is the attack on the Muntu family,
Mm-hmm.
the chosen people. Because without the man, the Black woman, and the Black child, Muntu children, the
Mm-hmm.
society is fractured.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because you have to have the king, Black king, the Black queen, and the children.
Mm-hmm.
As Baba Mungu designed it to be.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So the Kali and Pimba know that he has to break up the Black family.
Mm-hmm.
That's been his agenda from the Willie Lynch letter.
Mm-hmm.
To break up the divine family.
Mm-hmm.
We are a divine people. We are a set apart people.
Mm-hmm.
We are the first people of the earth, the Black man, the Black woman, and the Black child.
Mm-hmm.
And the Shaitani's attack is against the family,
Mm-hmm.
Baba Mumu's family.
Mm-hmm.
We look like him.
Mm-hmm.
And the Kali and Pimba hates him, so they hate his children.
Yes. Yes. By Nate, it's a spirit. It's a spirit. You know? Yeah, so cultural now we let's get to the cultural norms now. Cultural norms, ceremonies,
Okay.
Our spirituality. Now, so what's the connection? What is the connection between, because obviously the church, what role does the church play into this? Like how are they supporting or reinforcing the system that's in place? Because I can't even say it. There used to be a time when the churches played a role. Okay, let me put it this way: there was a time when the church played a role in our education development, right? The education. It also played a role in the economy. Okay, the church also played a role in the counseling, in the building of the family.
Community, yes,
in community here in America, when we were segregated, okay, when they pushed the integration and moved us away from our developing economy, community, I would say communities. Yes, our developing communities. Most of them were terrorized and destroyed, but how is the church playing this role? What are they doing? Are they helping build? Are they helping, or they're destabilizing us?
I think the church now has been used to destabilize us. And I'm gonna tell you when the church became a business.
Mm-hmm.
Which my pastor would always tell us, church is a business, and they got their, what is it, C20 something?
Wow.
Tax exempt.
Yeah, 501.
They stopped, the 501, they stopped caring about the community and caring about the tithe. If you're sick, send your tithe in. So now the church, which is one of the largest entities in the world.
Yes.
The church doesn't own businesses.
Mm-hmm.
The church doesn't make jobs for the parishioners.
Mm-hmm.
The church doesn't build homes for the parishioners. The
Mm-hmm.
church does nothing in the community to enhance the community.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least for the Black community, yes.
And that's what we're talking about because we really don't care about the other community.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, exactly. The church doesn't do anything for us
Nothing.
except extract our hard-earned money that we've spent so much time slaving for. You know?
I
So,
know I was a tither for years until I realized, wait a minute,
mm-hmm,
something's not right here.
mm-hmm,
But the church is uh, um, right now. The church is for the church.
mm-hmm,
It's the church is disabling to our community.
mm-hmm,
The church buys jet planes,
mm-hmm,
Rolls Royces,
mm-hmm,
cars when they have single moms and single families walking and trying to get to work. They don't distribute the money into the community so that
mm-hmm,
everyone in the community can behold. The
mm-hmm.
church is about the church
Yes, yes,
because the church was constructed by the colonizers.
yes, yes. And I've got to say, Mama, the church has been the most destructive tool placed in
In
black
our
in
community.
our community. It has been the
One
most
on every corner.
devastating tool used to disrupt our economies, because the church, and most people don't account this. They don't account that the church takes our money, tax-free money, out of our communities and puts it in the white banks.
Thank you.
All right. So there's a funnel that's placed in our economy, in our community. All it does, it just takes the money out of our communities quietly. No gangsters going after them. Nobody stopping them. There is absolutely
Yes.
no pushback when it comes down to the church in our communities. Absolutely none. Okay? Not even the political system is disruptive on a black community as the church is.
As the church is.
Yes,
Absolutely.
the most destructive.
I agree with you 100%. I wish I could disagree so we can have one disagreement in this conversation.
So,
But I've been I've been out of the church for 4 years, and the reason that I was out of the church, I stopped. So I told my sons, I said, I'm not going to church anymore. So my youngest son said, put my mom on the phone. Because this lady that's telling me that she's not going to church, where's my mom? Put my mom on the phone. I said, no, I'm serious. I'm serious. So I've had enough. I said, it's just a game. I'm realizing it's just a game. They manipulate us. They take our money. They have $1,000 lines, $500 lines, $100 lines. One pastor told us, okay, if you don't have $100, go down the row and collect from each other until you get 100. And I said, what kind of game is this that they're playing? I am hurting.
Yeah.
I need some answers. My children need answers. But it turned the money, the church turned into a money circus.
Yeah. I mean, some of the toughest, I would say, Mama, I've met drug dealers. I knew drug dealers. Okay? And I've got to say, the pastors in these churches are the toughest gangsters that I've ever seen.
Yes, absolutely.
They are the toughest gangsters. I mean, there's absolutely, you've got to, and it just goes to show that a lot of our people don't spend time reading that book that that's so covetous to them.
We all have it sitting on the coffee table, though. Big white Bible. Yep, there it is.
It's like I'm holy. It's for most people, they are holy just having it in their hand or having it to show everyone that they are parishioners somewhere. It's ridiculous. I mean, I've been to some of the churches. Like these people, they just they beat the people in their churches, and I mean psychologically. Okay,
Yes. Yes.
to a point where the person does not know how to even reference
Yes.
the scripture to have a to let the pastor know that you can do whatever you want. Okay,
Yes.
so it's ridiculous that church has been the most destructive, and then on this platform, Mabantu, on this mind mind theorist, I'm going to find some pastors. We're going to be having debates with some of these people.
Good.
Okay.
Good. Because I debate them on the streets of Kenya.
Oh yeah. It's good because it's to a point where people have to see these people who I mean, obviously it's gonna cause a ruckus, which I don't mind. I love confrontation. Does not necessarily end with violence, but I love confrontation. I love to debate hard. You know. But it's necessary for our people. That's one of the last spiritual enslavement that people have to come out of, because even though slavery quote unquote ended a while back, most people are still bound by these wicked spirits.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And the church preaches fear.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what holds people under the umbrella of the church is fear.
Mm-hmm.
Fear, like one of my best friends told me, if I leave the church, where will I go?
Mm-hmm.
I've been a Baptist my whole life. I'm going to die a Baptist. Well, that's your choice. Choose ye this day who you will serve,
Mm-hmm.
life or death, blessing or cursing.
Mm-hmm.
Choose life.
Mm-hmm.
But people are afraid.
Yeah.
The church have taught you so much about hell
Mm-hmm.
that you're afraid to debate the pastor, to disagree with the pastor. And I was the one in the church asking the questions and giving a pat on the back answer,
Mm.
which didn't sit well with me. Why are all the people in the Bible white?
Mm-hmm.
And I asked that question when I was 16.
Mm.
If Africa, if the Garden of Eden, so I started out asking the pastor, "Where's the Garden of Eden?" "Oh, it's in Africa." No, I said, "Where's the Euphrates River?" "It's in Africa."
Mm.
So the Bible says that the Euphrates River and the Garden of Eden. So how come everybody in the Bible is black? Well, you just sit down there, young lady. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take you to my office, explain everything, because he could not explain.
Mm.
How did all these white people all of a sudden become the greatest on the world when everything is started in Africa? So I've always had the questions that was never answered. But back to fear, the church keeps you frozen in fear.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't pay your tithe, you're going to hell. No, if you don't pay your tithes, everything's going to fall apart. My pastor used to say, if you don't pay your tithes, the refrigerator going to break down, your car going to break down. The devil going to get that tithe one way or the other. Fear.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
either go to church or something's the matter with you.
Mm-hmm.
One of my daughters in Chicago, she's been awakened for a couple of years now, and all of her friends are telling you got to go to church, and you need to take your son to church, and because that's the way we were conditioned. If you don't go to church, you're going to die and go to hell. The biggest lie on the earth is what the church is teaching.
Mm. Yeah. The church reinforces the dysfunction in our community.
It does.
It doesn't help the marriages. It doesn't help the economy. I mean, if you look in the book of Acts, it gave you an example of what the
As they all came together.
Yes, they came together and then they put their monies together and they were utilizing those funds for exclusively for the people in the church. So
for the community, yes.
For the community. So when we get together, the money is supposed to stay within the community. It's supposed to fund our day-to-day activities, our education, whatever we're doing as a people. So there was a time here in America when the church did that, Mama. It did that. But when
I know, yeah.
But when they government got in there, they disrupt. So is there a way for the church to be as useful once more?
I think the church needs to be dismantled and thrown in the trash. Period. And I dare anyone to come after me on that statement. Just throw it in the trash. It was no good from the beginning. Tata Nizami didn't give us a church.
Yeah, exactly. We were a nation.
We are the Bantus. Where did the church come from? It came from our enemies. And we're still frozen, sitting under the dictates of our enemy, sitting in church, being quiet, going to confession, making the sign of the cross. Robots going nowhere fast. Throw the church in the trash.
You know.
It didn't work then, and it's not working now. And I have pastors in my family. Husbands and wives that are pastors.
Yeah. Same here. It's, man. I
was an evangelist on the streets. I know.
My.
You want me? Do you want me to? You want to be saved? Then you need to ask Jesus into your heart.
Yeah.
Come on, let's hold hands. Let's ask Jesus in your heart. Take out your Bible, John 10, 9 and 10. John 3:16. Oh, I was a robot.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And the church on every corner was destroying the community by doing nothing for the community.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
so I'm anti-church.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, the church does not support the family, the foundation of the Black family. And
it does not.
And I absolutely agree with you. If they're not servicing the family, we don't have a community. Okay? We have divided people who are doing whatever they want to do. Because how are we going to get our kids? I mean, I went down a list here for a reason, because if we don't have the infrastructure, our homes in place, if we don't have our communities in place, our schooling in place, we can't be a unified people. We can't come to an agreement. It will be almost impossible. I would say impossible. It would be impossible for us to decide on the topic of the day. A lot of our brothers and sisters here in America are crying out for reparation. Okay? Now, the white man's not going to give you reparations. If we're not a unified body, they don't need to give us reparation. In fact,
no, because you know what you're going to do with your reparation? I'm going to tell you what you're going to do. You're going to have the best Adidas, Nikes. You're going to have all the hats with "Just Do It" on it. You're going to have a fine car. You're going to have the biggest house. Reparation for what?
Yes.
So you can put the reparation money back into the system.
Well, I don't agree with that. Okay, now I don't agree. Now we have a disagreement, Mama.
Yay! He doesn't agree with his mom. Come on with it. See if I can change your mind.
See, now our ancestors who came to Americas. Okay, now I don't agree with it because the African Americans owe that money. Everyone has got that reparation. You had
Of course, my
the,
grandparents.
the slave owner had received reparation. Okay, the slave owners received reparation.
Chinese,
The Chinese received
Japanese,
Japanese, the
phony
Indian
Jews,
and the fake Indians. Okay,
fake Indians.
yes, and then and the Ishmen. The Ishmen also got money, and recently these Palestinians who came over here, that they
Yes.
took them and put over here, they got money. Okay.
Yes, and so did what's the war? Russia's against Ukraine.
Ukraine got money.
Yeah.
So
Ukraine got billions of dollars.
this is crazy. That's crazy. So yes, the African Americans deserve reparation, and they should be how did I say? There shouldn't be conditions to that either. Okay, everyone got the same way everyone else got that reparations. African Americans are owed a tremendous amount, and I don't want to hear that. Second of all, I don't want to see West Indians being used in this situation because they are using this. The parasite is using. They're trying to make it murky. Okay. Recently, they had Africans officials coming over here on a discussion of reparation that have nothing to do with it. Okay. we see this is the dysfunction that they always look for. Okay, to divide us. Our people, if you are on a continent, you have no business getting in the conversation of reparations here in America. You need to go to you need to go to the colonizer who disrupted. If you are in Congo, you need to go to Belgium. Okay? You're in Ghana, you need to go to Britain. You in Kenya, you need to go to Britain. Go to the colonizer, the oppressor who disrupted our civilization. And wherever we are as a people, we have to be. We got to communicate. Listen, family. There's the brother Tariq, Jason Black. There are brothers and sisters here who are very, very. I agree with them. Don't get involved in the topic of reparation if you're not, as they would say, a descendant of slaves here in America. Okay, if you're not a descendant, they are brothers and sisters. Okay, we are related to them, but don't get involved in a discussion where you know this is problematic, Mama. They get people to come to the country to disrupt. Okay, this is problematic. We can't be a divided people. African Americans don't go to the Caribbean saying, okay, Caribbeans, first of all, the Caribbeans are not speaking up about reparations. So they shouldn't get involved about the reparations in America. The Spanish, Latinos, okay, quote unquote, the black and brown coalition nonsense, okay? If you're Latino and you are in the South America, ask for reparation from your oppressors. You see? They use everyone else to attack the African American because they want us to be divided. The African American community here in America has been the most vocal people. So they are a threat to this system. Okay?
Because they won't lay down and be quiet and go away.
Yeah, they're not going to lay down. And I respect that. There's power in that. Okay? And there are many things that's taking place. And there are great examples. Now they're using our West Indian brothers and our Latino brothers in this debate over the culture that was created, right? Hip hop. Okay, that was created right here in America. Okay, I came towards the tail end of breakdancing, in hip hop towards the tier end of it. It's a black invention.
It
Okay?
is. My son was a break dancer.
Okay? It's a black invention that came through the other music genres. We should respect that. All right. So, but they've got this, it's divisive. And if we are fighting with one another, we don't need to have white referees.
No. Now that I agree with.
Okay. We don't need to have white referees or anybody else that's not in our community to be in the discussion. Okay. This is problematic. And this year, Mama Bantu, these divisive Judases, coons, dumb niggers, that they're going to be exposed.
You remember what I told you the other day? Coconuts.
Yeah. Coconuts. Yes. So, I mean, yeah, there's more to that. There's more to that. But yeah, this division, and the house, we have to clean house, Mama. There's gonna be a cleaning of the house. All right, this divisiveness that's being used, these tactics, the tricks that they're using to bring people who have So, and these are things that they have to be clear. You go on the internet and you see this nonsense. Sometimes it angers me to see our African brothers on a continent talking nonsense about African American. This is the conditioning. This is the conditioning.
So much conditioning. So much conditioning here. So much conditioning here.
You would think that people back home would know this nonsense. You don't go outside and talk. You go to the enemy and you have the enemy talking about our issues. And they're monetizing these conversations. They're monetizing our dysfunction.
Well, what I run into being on the motherland, the majority of the Africans in the motherland think white is right.
Yeah, those are the coons.
One black man, I was in a debate with him, young man, he wasn't young, he was in his 50s, old as my son. He told me it doesn't matter what color Jesus was, and it doesn't matter what color God was. Well, if you think that way, then there's no hope for you. Because I told him, when your children come home from school and they look for you, and if there's a white man sitting up in the house, are they going to accept that? Something's not right in my house.
Mm-hmm.
So for you to think that way, you're what is it called? What do they used to call it? Dead man walking. This is the dead man walking.
Yeah. Yeah. This is why a child can take a look at a doll and say, "Oh, this doll is beautiful." Look at a black child will take a look at a white doll and say it's beautiful. That's the psychology. Yes. That's the psychology that the devil works.
Yes.
Okay. Tell that man that. Tell that man. Give him that example and see if he's gonna agree with that nonsense. It's conditioning.
Just conditioning. We are so conditioned that we don't want to step out of line with our opinions.
Well, Mama, I'm going to tell you something right now. It's not going to be popular, but I welcome the fire. I welcome the smoke, as they would say. All right. We have a lot.
I got the match.
We have a lot of cowards. We have a lot of cowards in our communities. We have cowards from the leadership, presidents.
To be quiet.
Yes, we got cowards in the school systems, and we definitely have cowards in corporate. because we always seems to be begging for white men to give us the dollar.
Yes.
We
Yes.
don't have the courage to say, hey, listen, let's get together and work and make our own stuff. But we are very, very, very comfortable asking for a job.
Yes.
Asking for someone to pay us for our hard work. Asking for someone to value us as if we don't have value already.
Mm.
All right. So if we have institutions like the church, the colleges, they should enforce those things. And if they were enforced within us, we wouldn't need a job. We wouldn't need to go to their churches. We wouldn't need to be around these entities. But because we have cowards, okay, you got to be a coward, as Damien Dash would say. What kind of man are you to call another man a boss?
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Okay,
And that's the second word in Kenya. Hey boss. Hey boss.
boss, yeah,
Hey
yeah.
boss. Boss.
Mm-hmm. So niggas better wake up. Okay?
Have to.
Better wake up. People are gonna wake up.
Or take some no-dos.
Yes, there is too much of that mentality going on. These ideas.
People,
Go on, mama.
people are afraid to voice their opinion, thinking that they will not be thought of well.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
Again, that's one of the parts in their school system. It's conformity.
Conformity.
Don't stand out.
I told one Kenyan man, the colonizer school system in Africa is teaching you to be subservient for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
It's not teaching you about electronics. It's not teaching you how to dig for diamonds, dig for gold. It's not teaching you the science of this and the science that. It's not teaching you that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you learn the power of how things work, then you can start your own company.
Yes.
But you come out of high school, you come out of college, and you're dumbed down.
Yeah. You know, Mama, there's a flip side. There's a flip side to conformity. Conformity works if the collective is on one accord.
Yes.
Okay. Conformity works
the collective has to be on one accord.
Yes. Conformity works for China because they work together.
Yes.
All right. So let me give you another example. Let me tell you why the dysfunction in the Black community continues. In the Black community, we don't have a way of punishing people when they don't conform. This again, the referee, the government gets in there and they disrupt it, and they will pose us against one another. And if
Absolutely.
if the African Americans don't get together and collectively agree on one thing, they'll bring a foreigner. Okay? And then they'll put that foreigner in front to speak. That confuses a lot of people. Okay? So let me give you another example. When this Asian guy, he killed one of the Asian officer, killed one of our people in Brooklyn. The Asian guys didn't say, "Oh, you know, this justice for justice." They didn't go march for justice on behalf of that Black person. They don't. Okay. When Kari was being persecuted by these Ish people, they didn't have a group of Ish people saying, "Oh yeah, we backing Kari." They stayed quiet.
Everyone stayed quiet. Well, not
Eh,
everyone, but
yes,
the majority stayed quiet.
those people, they collectively on the same page. They agreed with our oppression. But we've got to be the heroes, so divided.
We have to be the initiators.
Yeah, we don't speak on one accord. We you know, it's they always find a way to disrupt our agenda, our talking points, our narrative. They always come and disrupt it.
Yes.
So that's problematic.
I was raised in Philadelphia, and one of the words on the street in Philadelphia was "every man for himself." Heard my mother say it. I heard my father say it. Every man for himself.
Yeah.
Already training the children to be in discord with one another.
Yeah. 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 Their system reinforces our disruptions, our chaos, our disunity. Their systems,
our demise.
Our demise. Yeah. They would always pose one against. They always they always put one against one of ours. They always use us. You know, they always use us. They always put a black face. You know, whatever you do, use a black face to be in opposition to the other black person. You know,
and we fall for it every time because that's how we were conditioned.
Yeah.
There's no unity. Everyone calls for unity. Oh, you know, we need to come together in unity, but we don't. We put it on paper.
Yeah.
I haven't seen one program anywhere that brings us together as a people in unity.
Yeah.
We talk, but there's no action behind our talk.
Yeah. So I say
we talk a lot.
Yeah. I say I say all that to say this. There's going to have to be a formation of sorts. Okay, a formation of sorts where our Caribbean brothers and sisters, our Afro-Latino brothers and sisters, and I stress that Afro-Latino brothers and sisters because that's another demographic that I will be talking. I will be covering. It's a demographic that's been silenced by the white Latinos. Okay.
Yes.
There's a lot of oppression in their communities that they keep, and
so much.
It's tremendous. It's tremendous.
I have a girlfriend that's African Latin, and she applied for a job. They would not let her put anything on her application except Caucasian.
Exactly.
She wouldn't take the job.
Yes.
She said, "You want me to deny my African roots?"
Mama, that's the person I'm looking for. Please make a way. I will
find her.
Yes. Because you see, that's a demographic that they keep very, very quiet. That's a huge African demographic. That's what they call it, as our brothers in America would say. That's a buffer class that's being used against our people. Okay, there's
and put their numbers up.
Yes, exactly. So we have to create groups, okay, that can help these divided these classes, whether you're in the West Indies, in the South America, okay, or in Europe. We have to create a coalition that's exclusively black, not black and brown. These stupid words, black and brown. Yeah, black.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Not mix. If you're mixed and you think you're white, stay on the white side. Okay?
Absolutely.
If you're Latino and you think you are black, I mean, if you're Latino and you think you're white, stay on your white side.
Yes.
The confusion is when they go back and forth. Where 1 minute they are black, next minute they're white. Next minute, they're playing this stupid game that everybody knows are games
When
that
it's
they play.
convenient.
When it's
When
convenient.
it's convenient.
Okay? I don't want that nonsense. And I really I hate to use this word, but I hate when our people play that game where they're despising one another. I grew up in New York. There was a time when West Indians, our other West Indian brothers, like Jamaicans, would be going after the Haitian brothers and sisters.
Yes, yes. That's why my dad moved us out of New York. I was born in Brooklyn, but by the time I was 5 years old, we were in Philadelphia because of the discord in our community.
Yes.
Jamaicans, Puerto Ricans, the Islanders. It's just everyone was fighting against each other while the white man was sitting up there laughing.
That's what they love. That's what they love.
They said these people are from the same ancestors, and look at them, hating each other. We've done our job well.
Yes. Okay. When you come into this country, they're already insinuating, oh, don't go hanging out with those African Americans. You know?
Yep.
And you hear these things. These are the things that we have to deal with. If we're going to evolve as a people, if we're going to come together as a people, these are the things that we have to tackle.
We have to put it on the table.
Those are things
and come up with a solution.
We got to tackle these things. There can't be no pretending. Okay? You cannot enter the kingdom of Baba Mungu on false pretense.
And discord.
Yes. You can't. So family, I'm happy that that's one of the parts that we were not in, at least there was not so much of a disagreement, but a different perspective. And if you think that I was off my rockers, as they would say, if I was off in any way, comment on it. Let us know. Let's have this topic. Let's have this discussion.
Yes.
Because I've yet to hear it in these spiritual gatherings. Okay? Stop pretending. Okay? That's one of the things that I will be talking about heavy. We've got to talk about these things.
Yes.
Let me tell you this, Mama. I roamed. When I was in college, I roamed in the white groups. I roamed in the African American groups. I roamed in the Asian. I was embraced. I roamed the Asian groups, the Chinese, the Vietnamese. I was learning from everybody. And when you're hanging out with whites, they would say, "Oh wow, you easily get."
You're not what they said you were.
No. But I won't also feed. I wouldn't allow them feed me their fake. Because they have a thing where they would say, "You're one of those." What's the term? They're trying to peg you as I
hate that. You're different from the rest.
Yes, you're acceptable to us. We accept you.
We like you.
Yeah.
I've heard that 1,000 times.
Yeah. But what one of our brothers and sisters don't understand is that white people will respect you more if you in their face and you tell them what they do wrong.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Me,
you and I had that conversation. I'm not going to bring the conversation up, but we had that conversation about I had to straighten some people out. Look,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not my mother.
Mm-hmm.
My mother was born 1925. I'm not her.
Mm-hmm.
I stand up for myself and I tell you if it's right or wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. And we as a people, man, we've got some working to do, Mama. We got some working to do as a people.
And I believe it can get done.
Yeah.
I believe we can do it because we have the Most High on our side. And if He
Mm-hmm.
says it's time for me to bring my children together, then it's time for Him to bring His children together.
Mm-hmm.
And as we wake up in this awakening and we find out who we are, He will give us a heart and a spirit to come together without
Mm-hmm.
discord.
Mm-hmm.
Because I speak against discord in our community,
Mm-hmm.
that we will unite, and
Mm-hmm.
we will be on one accord. And those who do not want to be on one accord, they can go their way. They weren't chosen anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Oh, it will
definitely.
happen, my son. It
Yes,
will
yes.
happen.
Well, family, I want to give you a visual on the quote of the day. We didn't discuss the quote, but it's fitting. Okay, so let me go to the screen. One second, Mama.
Go right ahead.
I got a
This
little.
has been a wonderful conversation.
Yeah.
And it's good for mothers and sons to come together and talk.
Yes, I've got a malfunction over here, family. But anyway, what I would say, the quote of the day. I read it for you guys. Simple.
Okay.
You
Okay.
you got this. Okay,
I love it.
You got this.
I always say that.
Definitely, family. You got this. You got this. I'm gonna
We got
leave.
this.
Yes, I'm gonna leave a link in the description. It's a beautiful, beautiful cup. Okay, it's a beautiful mug. What is it called? Yeah, it's a mug, right? No, not a mug.
Yeah, it's a mug.
It's
Or
a
is it the thermos?
it's a tumbler. Tumbler. Yeah.
Oh, yes. It's
It's
coffee thermos.
yes, yes, yes. It's very, very beautiful. I'll leave a link in the description. You guys go check it out. Get the heart. Okay, get the mug. You got this. You got this. We got this. We got this. We can do better. Okay, family.
We can do better.
We can do better. So, with that, I want to thank you, Mama, for coming on board. We're gonna have much, much more topics, and I'm gonna go out of my way to find the ones that we won't really, really agree on. Because there's a reason why I'm not.
Of course, absolutely.
Yeah, there's a reason why we're gonna find topics that we're not gonna be in agreement. Okay, because we want to give two different perspectives.
We want to hear both sides.
We both sides, and we're gonna be having contests. It's gonna get a little bit more elaborate, okay, visually, and we'll be going live. But initially, just to get Mama comfortable to the format, we will do pre-recordings, and then down the line we go ahead and do live ones. I thank
Before
you, Mama.
Live, yeah.
Definitely.
I really appreciate this time that we spent. I can't believe 2 hours has gone by. But my closing words is stay focused on what He has for you. Don't stay focused on yourself. Stay focused on what He has for you, what Baba Mungo has for you. Stay focused on that.
Yes.
because
Truly.
there's greatness in us. Each and every one of us, there's greatness.
Mm-hmm. True indeed, Mama. Well said. Well said. Thank you, family. Happy Samba for those of you who are celebrating Samba today. Happy Samba to you, Mama. And you
Asante
enjoy.
sana.
Asante sana, Asante. Yes, 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 yes.
I'm learning Swahili.
That's good. That's good. Hey, if you're in Kenya, you got to, right? Are there
I have to. Yes.
people who purposely speak to you in Swahili?
I tell them to. Don't I said,
Mm-hmm.
look, my son, my daughter, I know English. Don't speak to me in English. Speak to me in Swahili so that I can not only so that I can hear the words, but I
Mm-hmm.
can learn how to respond correctly.
Yes.
And so they text me in Swahili. I text them back in Swahili. I have a
Mm-hmm.
Swahili class because I like to talk. And there's
Mm-hmm.
so many people, they speak English, but so many people, they feel comfortable if you can speak their language.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yep, that's very true. Very, very true. Family, thank you once more. Thank you, Mama. And until next time, may Baba Mungu bless your every step. May you acknowledge the creator of all things. May you praise and be unified with all the Bantus on these four corners of this planet so that we may have peace. Bye bye
Beautiful.
for now. Bye bye.